Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. It's going to be one of those videos which you've got to talk about things, and it's not nice stuff, okay? But it's stuff we can see happening on a regular basis, daily almost. And if you point it out, somehow you're a racist. Unbelievable. So let's get straight into it. Now, be advised, this is probably going to make your blood boil. It certainly did make mine. So, Birmingham girl 5 snatched off streets by man and sexually assaulted his home, a court told. Mohammed Abul, whatever the fuck his name is, aged 32, from Winson Green. He's not from Winson Green, is he? Denies false imprisonment with intent to commit sexual offence, sexual assault and assault. Oh, God, this is going to be bad. A man snatched a 5-year-old girl off the street and sexually assaulted her, a court has heard. There's not a problem, though, is there? No. To draw attention to this, well, it makes me a racist, doesn't it? The child's mother heard her daughter crying inside scumbag shithead's downstairs room and tried to smash the window of his home in Winson Green with a piece of wood, the jury was told. She was unsuccessful, and neighbour tried climbing through the window and saw the 32-year-old defendant and the girl, both with the bottom half of their clothing down and their ankles, prosecutors said. It is alleged that a dirty piece of shit punched the neighbour before others forced their way in and removed the girl, who told the mother, "He hurt me." Piece of shit, a Sudanese national, so deport the bastard, shouldn't be here. But no, it's me, I'm wrong. I'm a far-right racist for thinking that this is acceptable. We import the third world, we get the third world. Stands trial at Birmingham Crown Court, where he denies his charge of false imprisonment with intent to commit sexual offence, an alternative of false imprisonment, as well as sexual assault and assault. Opening the case today, Tuesday the September the 9th, that's when I'm recording this, it'll be on the 10th probably. Prosecutor Tariq Shakur, fucking another foreigner, said this defendant has taken from a street a 5-year-old girl into a room of a terrace property he was living in. He's locked the front door of the property, he's locked the door to the room of his property, and he's got the 5-year-old girl in his room with him. The prosecution case is that he sexually assaulted her and he is intended to do more to her sexually if not with the intervention of her mother, a neighbour and others who intervened by breaking down the doors to effectively get the girl out of the room. In this country, I'm hardly surprised that they all haven't been arrested and charged with criminal damage and assault themselves. Because, you know, the alleged incidents unfolded at 2 p.m, okay? 2 p.m. in the afternoon on March 30th this year, when a girl was playing in the street while her mother was talking to a friend who lived on the road. Mr. Shakur, at one point barefooted piece of shit, approached and made a sly comment to the mother which had sexual connotation, but she did not fully understand exactly what he said because he spoke a different language. So he's living in England in a house and can't speak a word of English. He's probably unemployed and spaffing benefits offers. But no, me drawing that attention to that makes me a far-right racist, yeah? Okay? He added the mother had never previously met the defendant, who returned to his home. Mr. Shakur told the court that there came a time when the mother could no longer see a child and went looking for her. They looked in the park area, thinking the child had gone to the park. The child was not there. They looked in the corner shop. The child was not there. They then returned to the street, obviously concerned the child had disappeared too. As they returned, they could hear the sound of crying. He stated the mother recognised the sound of her own child crying and identified the home from where it was coming from, a downstairs open window. The prosecutor said the front door of the property had been locked. The mother started banging on the window, thought the window was open. Oh, it must have been the little one at the top. And the door of the property. The defendant is plainly in the room with a child at this time, and her mother, in panic, picks up a piece of wood and tries to smash the window. The window isn't smashed despite the attempts to break it. He told the court the mother's friend partially climbed through the window and opened the curtains. Mr. Cursor sees the child and the defendant. The defendant was next to a bed. The girl was opposite him. Her bottoms, described as cycling shorts, were down to her ankles. The defence loco was also down to ankles, and the defendant at that stage appears to be bending towards the tile, touching his shorts and trying to pull them up. The jury told the piece of shit swung a punch at the woman and shut the window, causing her to fall backwards into the street. Mr. Shakur said the scenes caused a commotion. That's a fucking understatement, which led to two men ultimately forcing the defendant's door open. He stated the girl was told to go back to her mother who took her home. She is telling her mother repeatedly, "He hurt me, pulled her clothes down and hurt me," Mr. Kishore said. Meanwhile, one of the men who forced the door open tried to detain the piece of shit, but left as the police arrived very quickly. Yeah, probably because they wanted to arrest the people assaulting the immigrant. The prosecutor said the defendant remains in his room, opening and shutting the curtains. The police arrive, he's arrested and taken into custody. He's Arabic speaking, of Sudanese heritage. He had an interpreter present. Well, at our fucking expense, no doubt. He's cautioned. To the questions asked about the events I've just outlined, he replied, "No comment. The trial continues." And obviously, I should be keeping an eye on that trial and that case, because it's absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? That it just happens all the time. Because, you know, you get things like, once he's been arrested, you can get things like this. So, Rochester man gets 180 days for raping two girls under the age of 9. All his charges will be erased from his criminal record if he successfully completes his probation. So, he's got just 180 days for raping two girls under 9, and if he's a good boy, that'll be expunged from his record so he can fucking go and do it again somewhere else. So don't worry about this guy. This guy's been arrested for taking the 5-year-old to the trial. They'll find him not guilty. Probably give him a flipping suspended sentence. It's just like, does this shit ever stop? And then we get this. See, it just keeps on coming. This is from Netherton. A secondary school child has been sexually assaulted in Netherton, Liverpool. Dear parents and carers, we received a report that a secondary school-aged child has been sexually assaulted in the local area in recent weeks. The incident has been reported to the police, who are investigating. The police have advised that we cannot release a description of this person, but should ask all parents to speak to their children about being safe when they're out alone. We will follow it up with the school too. The incident occurred near Molyneux Road and the closest park there. Please speak to your children about stranger danger, what to do if somebody approaches them. This should not be a cause for unnecessary panic, but should be taken seriously. So, if they're not going to give the identification, it's because we know who it is. And when they go, "Oh, you shouldn't guess," well, if it's a white person, it's out instantly. If you're not allowed to say who it is, we know exactly who it is. But of course, don't talk about it, and just make sure your children understand that now it's a dangerous place and you can't go anywhere, because for some unknown reason there's been a massive increase in people committing sexual assaults against women and children, but it can't possibly be tied to the massive importation of foreign idiots from a different country who think this is acceptable. But if you protest against this, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're a far-right terrorist. Everybody hates you. Look, there's another one here. Manhunt underway as woman... I'll bring it back down, see ya. Manhunt underway as woman is raped in Bellington, Northumbria. A woman in her 30s attacked by a stranger. The perpetrator is described as being approximately 40 years old, around 5 foot 6 inches tall, slim build with dark brown skin. No, but there's not a problem, is that? There's not a problem, and if you dare point this problem out, you're a far-right evil person. Absolutely terrible. But then again, if they do get caught, the social services will call them a prostitute. This is from back in February 14th of this year. Girl 10 labelled prostitute by social services grooming gang trial hears. A teenage grooming gang victim allegedly used as a sex slave by Asian men in Rochdale. Who's this investigation now being led by Shabam Mahmood? Yeah, because that's going to work. Was labelled a prostitute from the age of 10 by social services, a court heard. The victim, now in her 30s, had been in care as a youngster, had read her file by Rochdale Social Services, she told Munshill Street Crown Court in Manchester. In it, the local council's department looking after children claims the youngster was selling herself for sex. Probably because they were involved, or they were covering it up, or they were part of the problem. But of course, this is what the grooming gang investigation is supposed to be about, but now it's in charge by a Muslim woman. Not going to happen, is it? I mean, we'll go into it in another video where Jess Phillips admits that she sat on evidence for 14 years because they were all part of the problem. Police officers are being arrested and charged for being involved in it. It was in my file when I looked it up, she told the jury, of 8 men accused of grooming and another teacher. I read it. I was picked up by the police for loitering and prostitution from the age of 10. But there isn't a problem, is there? No, there's not a problem. And I'm naughty for bringing all these things up and sort of making sure that everybody's aware of what's going on. Because, well, you know, you don't want to get it too wrong. I mean, there isn't a problem, is there? Not a problem. There really isn't a problem. It's just my racist administration. In fact, tell you what, let's get the it up, and we'll do it, and we'll put it to this video because it's very, well, relevant. So let's get it down. So again, it's my wonderul Raj Mar, the man who just keeps on going, and fair play to him. So here we go, and I'll read it. Some people may say, why do you read these things out? It's a visual medium, because a lot of my subscribers actually listen. They don't watch, whether at work, etc. So, Jess Phillips has admitted she waited 14 years for action on the grooming gangs. 14 years. Her own words. 14 years in which she knew Pakistani rape gangs were abusing children. 14 years which she admits she was waiting for anyone to do anything. But Jess Phillips was not powerless. She's not an ordinary citizen without influence. She was an MP. She was a national campaigner. She's now the Minister for Safeguarding Girls. For 14 years, she knew and she stayed silent. Worse for the Muslim bloc vote reliant MP for Birmingham, Phillips did not just sit back and wait. She actively opposed a national inquiry. During this time, she defended the very institutions accused of shielding abusers. She worked to protect councils, police forces, her own party from accountability. She sided with the system that protected Pakistani rape gangs. Now she's claiming she was waiting while children were gang raped, waiting while survivors were betrayed. I've just, before this, showed that a 10-year-old girl was basically said she's a prostitute. Waiting while institutions colluded and the Labour politicians claimed it was barefaced lies and a far-right conspiracy. Because, of course, I'm a far-right conspiracy person, aren't I? I'm a racist. Now Phillips has confessed. Where are the opposition not calling for her resignation? Why has no mainstream news outlet run with her admission? Why is her complicity being buried? Jess Phillips knew. She stayed silent. Her complicity protected rape gangs. Her legacy is betrayal, and she cannot remain in the post. And he is absolutely right. Why aren't the mainstream media talking about it? Why is only him and a few others picking this up? It's just unbelievable. And then he has 3 questions that I would like you to consider. 1, do you believe the government would have voluntarily agreed to a national inquiry without years of relentless sacrifice from survivors and companions who refused to stay silent? And the simple answer to that is no. And we must also thank Elon Musk for shining the light on that forced this to an issue, when all of a sudden it became a buzzword. A buzzword that most politicians jumped on and went, yeah, it's wrong, and then have faded into obscurity and are saying absolutely fuck all in the House of Parliament about it, except Rupert Lowe. The rest of them are just fucking silent on it. 2. Do you believe that the inquiry will actually hold public officials, police officers and politicians accountable for enabling industrial-scale gang rape of children? Simple answer, no. And they've made sure of that because now they've got a Muslim woman in charge. And they're going to rush through the Islamophobia law so you won't be able to talk about it because you'll be Islamophobic. It's a whitewash. We're going to have an inquiry. They have done sweet fuck all. Not a damn thing. I mean, where's reform? Where's their investigation? Where's them pushing it? They can try and pretend to take the claim, but it's nothing to do with them. There are all those people, bar one single man, Rupert Lowe, one singular man, who are sitting there and doing nothing. They are hoping it will go away. 3. Do you trust Shabana Mahmood and Jess Phillips to deliver justice? No, of course they won't. Jess Phillips has just admitted she knew for 14 years and did absolutely fuck all. If your answer to these questions is no, then you already know why my work must continue. And then there's a little bit here about him. You should know who he is. But I'll leave all that thing for you. And I'm going to pause and I'm going to actually play this, which should hopefully work. So let's listen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the 28th of April, the Minister was clear with this House that the framework for local grooming gang inquiries and Baroness Casey's audit would both be published in May. It is now June. Presumably then, there is a new timeline for publishing both of these. Will the Minister share it with us, please?
I thank the honourable lady for this question. I do apologise for I suppose the month's wait. I waited 14 years for anyone to do anything. Baroness Casey requested,
and they go, yeah. Instead of going, which my action was, what the fuck do you mean you waited 14 years? Huh?
Has requested a short extension to her work from the Home Secretary, and the Home Secretary has informed the Home Affairs Scrutiny Committee of this, and we expect it very shortly. And when we have the report, the government will respond to it and lay out its plans with all the evidence.
Look at that smug fucking grin on that enabler of gang rape. Look at her. I mean, she's literally the Labour MP for just up the road from where I live. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And then, of course, we get some fucking idiot trying to defend it. Absolutely unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. And they still cover it up. And the best thing is, it's still going on now. It hasn't gone away. It's still happening. And people are still turning a blind eye to it. And people like Jess and the media and left-wing idiots who will stand and defend rapists and child abusers just to go, no more Nazis on the street. Give yourselves a fucking head wobble. Anyone who can stand there and defend child abusers and rapists, just go, refugees are welcome. Refugees are welcome. Really? So that's what you're going to be remembered for, is it? And I'm the far right racist. I am like with many, many millions of people who have children, grandchildren, who are terrified that smug fucking arseholes like this can say and do whatever they want and have the smug grin, because it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, I knew for 13 years, but I was just waiting for somebody else to do it. Somebody asked the question, maybe we should search her hard drive and see what's going on. Any case, enough of that, I'm done. Ways to support the channel down below. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.
You said to me that you can't stand the world you're living in no more. I can't say